I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. I make music, hip-hop. And a few years ago, I was in a place of total alignment, and I would receive the lyrics to my songs in a way that was so joyful and so meaningful to me. And sometimes I find myself in that spot. I find myself in that place where I'm feeling really good, and then the ideas just come to me, and the rhymes just come so naturally. And I already know the answer to my question. I know that I have to get in the vortex. You always have to get in the vortex before you do anything. I've learned that. And
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
It's the same thing over and over again. I know. It's repetitive, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
And what I want from you today, Abraham, it's a request. It's not really a question. I like the idea of taking thought beyond what is. I want this conversation to expand to a place where it has never been before. So, the other day I was thinking about inspiration that comes from within, inspiration from a place of feeling worthiness.
Inspiration from the receiving mode.
From the receiving mode, yes. Yes.
Which means from the mode of no resistance, from that pure, clear space. Yeah. Before you go further, can you hold that? You know where you're going with it enough that you'll keep it? We have a question for you. So you talked about how in the beginning you knew that you were in the receiving mode and you loved the deliciousness of the unfolding. And there was an implication that some of that is not quite as powerful as it once was. And the reason for that is because once you begin receiving and then you begin offering for others to view, you can become a little heady about it, more back in step one. And it's a natural thing. It's natural to be in step one and ask and then receive. And then it's natural to notice what you're receiving. But when you notice what you're receiving, now you're thinking about it, so you're back in step one. So just by your awareness of the way it's received, or by your awareness of the way others feel about it, or by your awareness of what it's like when it's published or when it's physical, that automatically, and it's okay, that automatically, and it's okay, that automatically, and it's okay, and it's got to be okay, it automatically puts more resistance in it. And so you just have to keep replenishing. You just have to keep replenishing so that you compensate. We tell artists and authors and creators of all nature, because everything, whether it's a business empire that you are building or even a relationship, that the majority of this magnificent whatever it is was created before you put a single word on the page or a single note on the line or nailed the first board to the second board. That the creation is complete in its vibrational purity. And once you begin the tangible, physical action of it, that's when you begin to introduce resistance into it. Did you follow? Because, now this is so important, doesn't need to be that way. But the reason that happens is because, so picture, the creation is already there and it's complete. And you're in the receiving mode and you receive an impulse. And in a moment, we'll talk about how in meditation, you've quieted your mind and no thoughts are coming. You've managed to quiet your mind and no thoughts are coming. You've managed to quiet your mind and no thoughts are coming. And maybe you feel some emotion, but that's not thought. And maybe you're getting a little movement even, but that's not thought. There's no resistance in what's going on. And then a thought occurs to you right out of that vortex. And when you receive it, you can feel the purity of that thought. That's what you were talking about with some of your lyrics. And so when that thought comes, that's what you're reaching for. But there is some vibrational maturation and evolution to happen for that thought to turn to another thought, to an impulse, to another thought, to an impulse, to another thought, over here into this physical manifestation. And what happens with so many is that you try to make that jump too fast. So you get the impulse or the inspiration, and then you move right into action too fast rather than allowing it to evolve, so that you introduce unnecessary resistance into the equation too soon. Jerry always said, let's not get our business bigger than our business. which meant let's let it evolve and let's follow the next logical impulse. But a lot of people want to jump too soon because they haven't learned yet to enjoy the process of the unfolding. It's like, not happened yet, not happened yet, not happened yet, not happened yet, not happened yet. And when it manifests, then I'm going to be really happy. We say, yes, you will for a minute. All the juice has been chewed out of the gum by the time it manifests. So we want you to start really enjoying the juicy unfolding of it all. So that's the answer to your question. Jumped too soon into the action and didn't derive enough pleasure from the natural evolution, the receiving mode. You got it, didn't you?
So I just gotta chill out more? Wait?
Yeah. We would meditate and then receive as much as we could receive and then allow it to become. Don't jump too fast to the finished product. Enjoy the experience of it, because if rap is anything, it is spontaneous. In other words, it's the closest thing to just pure receiving. And of course, it's interesting because as we are visiting with you here, we are offering blocks of thought to you. Some of you are getting them like Esther is. You're translating these blocks of thoughts into words sort of like Esther is. So Esther is receiving these blocks of thought at an unconscious level and finding words that match them. And that's what you're doing with your lyrics. You're getting the essence of it, and then you're finding the words that match. And it's a little interesting. It would be a different sort of experience if it were important to us that each sentence rhyme. It would take more time. But you have to acknowledge that in that there is an introduction of your conscious mind. Jerry always said, Abraham uses so much more of your vocabulary than you do. And Esther said, huh? And Jerry said, you mostly just use two words, thing and stuff. He's playing with her, but Esther knows that we do use more of her vocabulary because there are words that she knows, and so at this unconscious level, some of them come to the surface, and your ability to rhyme is there also, but that rhyming gets your conscious mind involved, and so you're reaching for that balance. The more you allow yourself to just allow it to flow without trying to produce a finished product so quickly, then the more satisfaction you'll have with the concepts along the way. There is a non-physical rhythm. That's why music and dance are so wonderful. And when you say you want to be on the leading edge of thought and that you want this conversation to go where no conversation has ever gone before, and it already has, when you realize that you are in a constant evolutionary flow and you realize that your inner being is already there, and now you're in the receiving mode. You see, in this perfect dance that we are all doing together, we're all together before your birth, and then you came splat into your physical body. And here you are in your physical body, out ahead of that where your inner being is, because now you are having exposure to the physicality of life out here on the leading edge that now your inner being is taking in. Everything that you experience, your inner being is now experiencing. So you have led your inner being into a new place. Then you sifted through contrasts that your inner being cannot sift through, because your inner being is in a frequency that cannot sift through the contrast of this. Makes sense to you? All with good reason. And from it, you sift something that is wanted, which your inner being then gives undivided attention to. So you came by the intentionality of your inner being into a body and therefore led your inner being forward. Then contrast led your inner being forward again. So now you have led your inner being to a place that it has never been before, to new conscious awareness of new desire that has never been before. It is unique unto you. And now your inner being is standing there holding that and now leading you to the alignment of it. So when you follow the way you feel, into that alignment and you feel the exhilaration of that coming into connection with your inner being, then for a moment, we're all dancing right there together. We've led each other. We led you, then you led us, then you led us, then we led you, then you led us, then we led you, then you led us. But in that moment of exhilaration, we're all right there on the same page. And now, from that new place of creation, you are new unto the universe, and so are we. New unto the universe. So now, in the receiving mode, now you get to receive clarification, the knowledge, the new verbiage, the new experience. Your inner being is now offering you new clarity, leading you again, which now you get to receive. And when you get into that receiving mode, you're only there for a little while. You can't hold yourself there. And then back into the contrast where it happens again and again and again. There's contrast in every particle of the universe, even where we are. But the contrast is so slight by comparison with your contrast that you could not perceive the contrast that we live. But it must exist if expansion is to be, you see. So, you got a lot out of that, and we really went to a place that we have not been before with anyone ever. So now, back to the specifics of your question. We asked you to hold it, did you? And are you ready now?
Yes. So back to the subject of inspiration, finding the inspiration. Once I heard you say that we artists, we're supposed to try to find the feeling of being artists.
But what is the inspiration? What is it really? Let's break it down in terms of these laws as we know them. What is inspiration? It's me in the receiving mode of something that I put in the vortex that got bigger after I put it there, that is tended by my inner being, is understood by my inner being, and then is spoken to me in a way that I have never spoken it before, which I could receive. It's my creation ready for me to now take it from a vibration to a thought, to a thing, to a word, to a song, to a movement.
Mm-hmm. So I just got to find the feeling of being a rapper, the feeling of being a writer.
All you have to do, we've said those words before, we know. And we meant them when we said them, and we mean them now. But now we want to say to you in a more fine-tuning way, all you got to do is find satisfaction right now. And you won't find satisfaction if you give yourself a label with an audience and a record contract right now. When you put too much into it that hasn't come into manifestation out here in the what you want to call real life experience, you disallow the potential for joy that could be there right now. When you receive a joyful thought, can that not be enough? Or do you need to run right now and tell it to somebody? Is it not enough until somebody else hears it and agrees with you that it was wonderful? This is an important question. Is your rendezvousing with your inner... This is sarcasm. Is your rendezvousing with the energy that creates worlds and the subsequent joy that is exuded from that non-physical consciousness not enough? When you let it be enough, when you look for love in all the right places, when you look for satisfaction where it really is, so that you're able to maintain it, then you're all shored up. And when you present yourself to the world, just like in the very first conversation that we had today, doesn't matter what they bring to the table, doesn't matter what pessimism they bring, or maybe you're taking rap to a place that it has never been before, and the rap world is looking upon you with disdain. But if you are really in tune with source energy, their disdain won't bother you, and you will win them over, and they will discover what real rap is.
Right. I want that.
You see,
it's pretty good.
Because there's this wanting to blend in with what they already are that is so boring, so mundane, so same, so not inspired by source, so not in alignment, so not leading edge. And so let's just say it. If you're not on the leading edge, you can't be satisfied in the way that you were born to be satisfied. You were born to be on the leading edge. The leading edge of what? The leading edge of you. The leading edge of you. So we've been saying for years, and now you'll hear it better than you've ever heard it before. If this time-space reality, we're talking about this manifested world, has the wherewithal to inspire within you a new desire, it has the wherewithal to deliver it to you in full manifested form. It just does. And now you know how it all works. But you can't stand in your now reality, taking score, and allow this alignment and then this evolution.